Hi, happy 999 feminine rising in all of us, okay, collectively. Because what is the patriarch other than eating us all alive? So it's almost, oh no, it's officially midnight 01 where I am. Take a deep breath. It's an exciting time. Do you know this? So now that it's officially midnight, we're in the 9-10-9, so 919. But I like to think the 10 like being supported by the 9 and the 9 to really put close to whatever cycles, whatever's being released, whatever is being rewritten, reprogrammed, and realigned as your default, always with intention. As somebody who's studied, okay, mysticism for a long time, like the consensus out of no matter what pathway you look at, it is intention. And then therefore assumption is also intention through default, and then there's alignment, which is focused future movement with a vision. So let us see collectively what energy is 999ing its way out of here. Pride. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Pride, self-esteem, self-worth, and ego. Because see, it's like self-esteem would be the higher version and through the middle, because self-worth would be the pathway, and ego would be the lower self, which ego is the lower self. So they say pride cometh before the fall, but trust and wisdom and truth are by self-worth, your self-esteem, what moves you forward. And like where yourself acts from to move you forward. Is it from ego, which is like animalistic and greedy and like manipulative and just like the animal version of self, okay? So like an animal doesn't know how to use conversation to like communicate their emotions. And I don't even think about animals, like they have emotions, but like I'm not gonna be out there triggered like an ant walked like across its path and it's gonna be like, oh, you're just trying to walk over me, you know, type of ego. What emotions are balancing? Okay, calm, fallout, but one came out. Emotions balancing. With this 999 like a couple months ago, I had like this epiphany where like nothing is needing to be projected like into. It just needs to be accepted as itself until you pour into it your belief or like a reaction to it, you know, even a response. Like to be present is just to like observe and be like, okay, until it's like morally or inhumanely affecting, you know, the space around you. That's why collectively we have to say no to certain like movements, social strategies, you know, situations of the state of the world. The more we say no, and the more that we want truth and disclosure and true input beyond just a vote, as like a culmination of a community and setting our standards to like, this is not okay. Like people's for the people, not politicians for the people, and little societies, you know, overplaying their hand and power tripping and asserting their dominance through a manipulation and hiding the truth. Like even, you know, the best way to hide the truth is to convince, you know, the masses that it's a lie. So it's like dangerous by fear mongering. It's like the serpent in the Garden of Eden, right? And it's like, oh, we're naked, but like naked is also like authentic and bearing your truth and just being vulnerable enough in just who you are naturally. Like I know I personally prefer that over any of like especially synthetic fabrics, you know, more comfortable. But like the serpent and like spirituality, like pre-religion, was like transformation. It was like the serpent eating its tail, the cosmos, the womb of the mother, the feminine, like the divine cosmic mother of all things, because like everything's in her womb. Because like no matter where anything comes from, you need masculine and feminine. You need a womb and some swimmers to create, unless it's in a lab, or maybe a cabbage. If you don't know about the Cabbage Patch Kids, like the real ones, like pre-orphan train, do that research, okay? But like the serpent transformation, it's like if the serpent came, like in the apocalypse of Adam, I think it is, it talks about how like Eve was sent to like save Adam from the garden of like control. It's like, okay, so the snake, so fear the snake, fear the truth, fear the way out, fear your transformative self that can set yourself free. And we are in the year of the snake. Is it still the year of the snake? Yeah, it is the 9. Transformation. Just fast forward time. So it's like we really got to start like questioning what is shackling us, or what is like releasing us from bondage. Okay, so collectively, what energies are balancing out? We have gluttony, yeah, craving, exceed, and greed, and like just sleeping, just filling up on processed food, watching TV. Like I always say, what's the one thing they never do on TV? Watch TV. And just like zoning out, like he's foaming at the mouth, just got some gout, probably not eating anything with pre or probiotics. But it's like, we're not going to check out anymore. Like, it's time to be present as a collective. It's time to enter into our communities again and form villages again in unity. Okay? And what energy is maximizing right now in the collective? Gift. Souvenir, promotion, delight. Seeing the present, huh? As a gift, right? Because it is, right? Yeah. There you go. And embracing that gift and being so grateful, and like in giving and receiving. Like in one day, we could all just make a complete movement. Sorry, Birdie, I'm taking my Birdie off because I'm not upstairs. We could like truly just be so present with each other and be like, oh, there's famine. Oh, there's starving children. Oh, there's genocide. Like, ingness. Algorithm. Silence me all the time. Never. But it's like we could really make moves and change the influence back into attunement. Like the battle of good and evil. It's like we all have both, right? We have our lower self, we have our middle self, which is our heart. And like if we just are led by our heart, you know, who knows where we're gonna go. If we don't have our higher mind, our higher self, that's like communicating and sending the downloads to us in communication by way of like our intuition, like through the chakra system. It's like when you hit one of those like games at the carnival, and you like slam it, and it's like woo, or like the water game, and it has to go up. It's like we have to rise the energy, the kundalini. Oh my gosh. And the kundalini is a serpent in the bread world, the lamb. Rise ourselves up out of survival and the root chakra and animalistic behaviors, and use like our quantum natural computer machine brain, our mind, and then our heart. The heart can manifest like 5,000 times stronger, I don't remember the real number, than the mind. So like if you have your base are grounded and you're rising it to your heart, and you're dropping your mind, your higher mind, not like your reptilian brain or just so left, so right, into your heart. It's like you're just gonna be like your Markaba, just flying around, just gonna be like an orb, rainbow body. Like, have you ever heard about those stories where people just disappear into thin air? They're like, oh, Frank was running so fast and then he just disappeared. It's like, yeah, he probably turned into his rainbow body and was like tripping out that he like couldn't re-solidify and ground himself because he was probably lightheaded from running so fast. Like, even I will say, like, I don't think people like transform from the physical body back into the spiritual body by the unaliving of another person. I'm sure it's like the sheer shock of betrayal that just, you know, like just like sends them back home, because it's like, how is this even possible that somebody could even do this like with intentions? And like, that's a whole next messed up system, right? Like, heck no. I'm gonna start like spiritually reviewing like cases of like human behavior from like the spiritual eyes, not just like the physical eyes that one might see. It's like there's always a spiritual reason. Everything happens in the spirit first before it can even ground into the physical, and for it to even like manifest in the ground, at first must be spiritually influenced. So it's like either spiritually bound, spiritually influenced, or spiritually in the know, right? That's why like in Gnosticism it says those with the eyes to see and the ears to hear will know, right? Because you have to be open. It's like you could look at somebody, like a pastor could look at me and be like, "Who blasphemy? Speak of ye God and Jesus." Like, I will pray the blood of Jesus over you, and you can pray the blood of Jesus over me, and we can just be in the blood together. Or if you have the eyes to see, you could be like, I know that God is one love, and that God isn't bound to a book and exists in many people, and there are many people with spiritual gifts and perceptions and perspectives. And it's like, if somebody's taking blood from an animal and trying to use it like and focus all this low vibrational juju, it can only affect somebody that also is like that animal that is bleeding, that can be affected by that low vibrational juju. Like belief, faith, and like focus is how that type of energy can manipulate you, unless you know your higher vibration. Then it's like, okay, no, like I'm not going to think evil and I'm not going to think good. I know they both exist, but they are only in action and existing by way that I pour into it. My belief, my faith, my sight, my vision, and my relationship with it. You know? It's like evocation and invocation. It's like you're gonna like put out and like, come into me energy, or you're gonna be like, that energy's already in me because I'm one with all, so like, here you go. Push it out. Like, that's why like worship can be so like gray, because it's like, how are you pouring yourself out, or are you activating that from within yourself? Like pouring out for that validation, or are you validating it through self-esteem and through inner knowing and through like alignment into the adjustment of the view of which you exist within the field of that energy? Because energy can't be created or destroyed. It just exists until we attach to it or pour into it or like focus on it, believe in it, like, you know, look for it, so like observe it. And now we're observing it happening at a mass scale and a collective scale, like these little parlor tricks and bippity boppity boos, and it's like, whoa, this is like, that's psychosis to me. Like, you know, hate is just the void of self-love, or of like looking for the beauty or seeing the truth within, because everything that we have outside of ourselves is already within us. That's how we can see it. That's why it's like, judge not, want not. Because if you judge something, it's like, oh, you want that not, but that's because that's the part of you that doesn't want that part of yourself to be seen, if that makes sense. Books. Your life purpose involves writing, reading, editing, or selling spiritually based books. Well, you must read them, and we all have a perspective, you know, like nobody has the same life experience, not even twins. Like one could be more peppy, and one could be more emu, and they'll just see their lives totally different, even if they're identical. It's like our life stories, when we look for the wisdom in things, can reveal to us through learning and experiences. And how do humans learn things? They learn by observation. They learn by sharing stories. That's why there's writings in caves. You know, here's an antelope, eat this one. Here's elephant, it could hit you and run you over. Escape tiger. Here's winter, plant seeds, you know, save seeds from what you grew and like grow more. But this is all like trial and error, and this is knowledge. Because you never know what somebody's experience was, and they might have that inner knowing, like that feeling and that desire to know such an experience, but they might not have had opportunity to be in alignment with that energy to have that experience. So then their perception might be flawed, or they might be in distorted energy because they haven't had a proper mirroring. And improper mirroring is such a way to manipulate the energies, because if somebody's going to try to mirror, like reflect back to you by mirroring it, but only just to trick somebody into like thinking, it's like, let's use like a charity, right? But then whoever's running that charity is really embezzling money, and they're like, oh yeah, give to this charity, but really it's being ran by some crook. That's the outcome. But it's like, there are actual charities that are run by good people who actually are helping. So it's like the exception and the rule and the possibility, infinite possibilities. But it's like, do you want to see the truth or be in denial or be in ignorance? Because ignorance is ignorance. Steady progress. We acknowledge you for the progress you made in remembering love in your daily activities. We can clearly see the contribution you're making to the world through your thoughts, feelings, and actions of love. And this is through self. Self-love is the best love. Know thyself, and the truth shall set you free. To this self-esteem that was here, not like from pride to confidence, from like distortion to wholeness. The angels all looking in the same way, and there's like Neville, what's his name, Neville something, and it's like, what man thinketh he becometh. Like our thoughts become things, but not all thoughts are real thing. Like not all thoughts are ours, really. I just went on a whole tangent rant, didn't I? Channeling, so I don't even remember what I say it. Like, oracle cards are books. They have books, but like, that's a book to read too. If you don't have a tarot and oracle deck, it's a good way to like mirror out your subconscious through yourself. Like, I will always say an untrained subconscious is a very lethal, like dangerous weapon. Because, you know, you could be running off of beliefs that were put into your DNA and your bloodline from the Inquisition. Just straight fear. Like, anytime I'm driving, I'm like, I think fear, testing for fear, should be like your fear tolerance should be like an automatic like part of a driving test. It's like if you're quick to fear, I don't think you should drive, because then you be putting everybody in danger, and that's anywhere in life. We have, becoming aware. It's number 1. I am becoming aware of things that are holding me back so I can live my life to its full potential. And awareness is the first way to presence, to mindfulness, to consciousness, to perspective, to perception, did I say awareness? I think I did. But to becoming inquisitive, observant, curious. Curiosity leads to courage, right? The emotional spiral. And it's like, to have more, we need to know more, and then we need to do more, and then we need to become more. Not because we're not already whole, but because that we are ascending or like multiplying, expanding. It's like, what were those books called? I don't know, when I was a kid, they were around. Metamorphosis, what is it called? Morphiners? Morphosizing? Anamorphins? I'm gonna look it up, hold on. But they like morphed into like animals and they can like change, almost like shapeshift. That's because that's like 1221. Oh my god, I was just 2022 on there too. Because it's just like, all is archetype. So the mind, the all is mind, and the universe is mental. So everything is archetype. So every god, every deity, every entity, every personal behavior, every like thought form, focus, belief, this is all archetypes. You know, like you can call on the archetype and activate it through within to project it outwards, of like Thor, raw, you know, strong, courageous. I don't really know what else Thor is. Or like Odin, just knowing. Or like the goddess of Lakshmi, prosperity, luck. But then you have to bring into alignment your patterns and the way that you perceive and the way that you move to have the same attributes. So then you can walk through that. It's like, be as like Jesus, right? Like, what attributes did Jesus have in Christ? Like, we're not supposed to be the sacrificial lamb. We're supposed to be this person. Like, Jesus is blue. It is the fish, the Piscean age, the truth, unconditional love. And when that was put on the cross and taken, it's like the consciousness of Christ was taken from the people and put under control and used, right, to fuel the church, to fuel these societies that hold this information, that keep underground the very energy that they pull from, you know, chaos, the mother, right? And then what's the best way to control is to like hide the source of the power and then demonize it, right? Like, through society, before there was churches, before there was masculine like worship, there was like a big woman with a big belly, the Divine Mother, and that's whose like places of, you know, temples were built from. And then someone's soldiers like went and tear them all up, rip them up. What are they called? Transform. Oh my god, I don't even know how to Google this. Okay, yeah. Anamorphous. Let's see what that means. Let's Google the meaning. Anamorphism. Look at that, okay? Anamorphism. What? Can you see it? Yeah. Okay. A distorted projection that appears to be a normal, recognizable image when viewed from a specific vantage point with a particular device like a mirror, like another person, or both. The term comes from Greek words meaning back or again, ana, and shape or form, morph, is used in various fields including painting, photography, and even computer programming. Visual distortion. The most common understanding of anamorphism is through artistic applications. Computer program. Because computer, you gotta think about mind. If you break down the way that a computer is put together, it's pretty much how our brain works. Or can be used, or used for us or against us. In the context of functional programming, anamorphism describes a function that builds a sequence from a starting value by repeatedly applying itself until a terminating condition is met. And then geology, where less common, the term can refer to metamorphism, the process where minerals are transformed into more complex, deep forms deep underground. It's like everything in nature. Nature is our mirror as life, right? Like the cycles. What happens in the micro, in the cells, in the biology, happens in the macro, in the cosmology, in the cosmos, beyond the planets, in the dead space, right? And then like they want to say like in gene or in DNA the proteins are dead, the unconscious is dead. Everything where we get our connection to the all and to the creator. They want to just like, nope, ain't nothing there. Don't go looking for it. So yeah, that's kind of what we're saying, right? Like manipulate the perception and the perspective and the awareness and the perception, right? Even in our DNA and our cells, right? There's like the protein, and then where the antennae goes, where like the cell perceives itself as how it is to operate. Bruce Lipton, The Beliefs of Biology, he talks about this. One of the best. He has the book, but like I'm somebody who also, especially back then when I learned it, was like more about like show me the conference or like the speaking of it. I had to teach myself to like to read, okay? Like I had like trauma from elementary of like reading, and just, you know, it was more, I was just nervous of everybody just like standing over me huffing and puffing like read out loud. I was like, so shy. Such a sweet kid. Okay, such a sweetie. But like metamorphism, I'm never gonna, let's see if Google can say it. It's not gonna say it for me. So like, is what's being perceived within your sight something that is being projected into your mind, or is it something that is being computed within your brain and your mind and projected outwards? Because to see change in the external, we must change on the inside. And the external world is just mirroring back to us our nervous system, how we perceive, how we expect, how we default, how we're programmed, how we assume that our existence and our reality is going to be presented to us. It's like predictive programming, but to reverse it. Because we've all been predictively programmed and desensitized by observing. This is like quantum physics too, the split cat theory. Whatever it is, you know what I'm talking about. If you know, I'm not a physics major. I'm like one of those jacks of all trades, know a little bit of everything, or what is it? Jack of all, master nothing. But it's the life past 7, the split string theory, where they put like the cat in the box, and it's like, is the cat alive or is it not? And it's like how we choose to perceive it and assume it will be so. So tonight I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to assume that we're just going to wake up tomorrow to a society where we can buy homes again and live and still exist. Like I was just saw something and I was like even in the 80s or something, it's like you can have minimum wage, still buy a house, keep that house in your family, leave that to your kids or whoever, they have that house, goes. And not like Gen X or Z, like they have it hard, man. Like I can't even imagine. And like the minimum wage isn't going up, the maximum slavery is going higher, and expectations and over having to give ourselves. No, it should be like 1/3 is what it should take to pay your way. Because like we came here from the stars, right? You summoned us here from this soul trap. And a lot of you are waking up to the strength that you are of a pillar, of a transmutator of these delusions that are keeping society in these lower vibrations, like dis-ease, poverty, you know, misery, distortions and things. So do the great work. The great work is elevating oneself to a higher perspective of self, to your higher self. Like we are just in this dense physical reality, like multi-dimensional. You can pull yourself from another timeline, from another reality, and walk yourself right into this body and rock the cash bar, aka the system, aka the matrix. And the more we activate, the more we self-regulate and therefore re-regulate and transmutate what has been done to us and our bloodlines back into the truth and our divine birthrights. Thank you for being here. Like it if you liked it. You can unlike it if you don't like it. I don't care. Do what you want. Hang around. And thank you for subscribing and listening and being present, because you are doing this too. We're all just particles running around. And before you go to bed, or if you're already at bed, or if you're still waking up in this eclipse Piscean, you know, where else are we? 999 portal. Write a letter to yourself of what you're releasing. Burn it. And do 9 rounds of 9. Breathe in. Inhale. 9 hold. 9 exhale. 999 breaths. 9 times. And while you do it, envision all the great things for self. And by self, I mean the whole body of all humans. Because what we want for another, we receive for ourselves. And I pray you the first day of the rest of your life, and let it be on your time. See you later. Bye.